Boxing at times can be a valid strategy for veteran players who know what they're doing, but far too often it's a tactic adopted by, let's call them newer players who don't quite know exactly what they're doing in the game yet and can tend to develop some bad habits. Today, Slade is going to show us a beautiful holiday box opening session with his Greenskins here, starting with the 8-peak loons. So, of course, Fanatics, for those of you unaware, it's an AoE ability that all Fanatic infantry units get, including the 8-peak loons, Regiment of Renown. There's a special one that does even extra damage, and they've got 3 charges of it, so let's see how that does. We've also got Skarsnik here leading the way. We've got a Spider for Spiderling summons, a bunch of Orc Arab boys, some Black Orcs, and Swigherds out to the flanks as well. For this High Elf player here, again, I'm not trying to shame this player or make them feel bad. It's just, yeah, well, you'll see what happens. 3 Phoenix Guard, 2 Silver Guard, 2 Swordmasters, and some Lothran Sea Guard in the center of the box. And one thing, when you box up like this, you leave yourself very much vulnerable to AoE damage abilities, and the Fanatics are going to unleash to a great amount of HP damage, only a single kill, but already this unit's basically paid for itself twice with a single cast of Fanatics. So this won't be the most tactically complex game. I'm going to showcase Slade's strategy here, though, as, you know, a lot of people run up against noob boxes, especially in quick battles, and it's good to know how to combat them. So basically what he's doing right now is just sitting back and using his ranged units. I mean, it's not like the High Elves have an overwhelming ranged capability in their build, so it's no problem for Slade to just sit back and use his Orc Air boys, use the 8-peak loons essentially like a ranged unit. He literally gets as close as possible. The High Elf player does not react, and then he sends Fanatics scattering through the center of this formation, doing damage to every single level, and just, yeah, absolutely devastating the High Elves there. So let's check in after round 2. They're up to 2595, or 2495 rather, 18,000 damage dealt just on 2 Fanatics casts. So yeah, pretty good stuff so far. One of the Orc Air boys has been beaten by the Lothran Sea Guard, but they're now going to switch their focus fire onto the 8-peak loons, see if they can burst them down quickly enough to prevent third cast of the Fanatics. Of course, the unit has to be above a 25% HP to be able to use the Fanatics. It's not like you can just save 1 or 2 Gobos in the back like you used to be able to. I guess they need enough bodies to be able to hide in, but here they come for the third pass, and of course the rest of Slade's build just refusing to engage at this point. Why should they? There's absolutely no need for them to engage. And this time the Goblins are going to get real up in the business of the High Elves, even engaging them in melee a little bit here. And we'll watch the final path of this Fanatics as they come blazing through. So that's Suri in there, all the way through the back line to the Swordmasters. And yeah, the final tally of the 8-peak loons. I say final tally, they're actually going to fight in melee for some time and accrue some more value, but 35, 20 plus, 25,000 damage dealt plus. Just fantastic for those little Gobos. Now we see some more AoE damage in the form of Brain Bursta. Does great against non-armored units. Be no problem detonating the Lothran Sea Guard in the back line. Edbutt, again, same thing. I don't think, maybe Edbutt actually does some AP damage. Yep, 0% actually on both, so that's fine. He'll do some damage to the elite High Elves here, depending on their armor rolls. But Black Orcs can get in here now, no problem. Just to carve up these Phoenix Guard. Imric on foot also gets in here, but he's a pretty small boy in comparison. These Black Orcs to stop stutter stepping and actually get some animations in. They could probably do some damage to him, but the Elves holding the Squig herds get up and around the side and get into the Swordmasters. It's the only anti-large unit here, so it does make a little bit of sense. But yeah, very patiently using all of his Fanatics and then moving in on the rush. Get some Spiderling summons as well. And the Queen coming to terrify away, just nomming the center of this formation. Squigs, Orc boys even, fighting and prevailing due to the HP damage done. I mean, High Elf stats are high enough that even with the damage done, by the Fanatics. They're still holding out for a surprising amount of time, but while being active, 61 attack, 63 weapon strength for the Black Orcs. No problem smashing through the High Elves there. And of course, Imric here getting hit by the Queen and by Skarsnik. Skarsnik using up his fungus. I like Skarsnik actually quite a bit. You don't see him super often, even though he's a pretty strong Lord choice overall. Not the strongest by any means, but that fermented fungus is quite good. And then his AoE anti-large ability also, which isn't applicable in this matchup really at all. The High Elves didn't bring any large units whatsoever. But, yeah, the box at this point has been well and truly destroyed. It's just a matter of grinding down what's left of these elite infantries here. Swordmasters included in that, just dying to masses of squigs, and, you know, the armor-piercing missiles of the mangy marauders also got some pretty good value here, no doubt. Chasing some routing units down. They do unleash beasts, indeed. Skarsnik and Gobla here, chewing on some Lothern Seaguard, smacking that caster around a little bit there. Oh, yeah. Gotta love Gobla's animations. Come on, eat a Swordmaster, please. Nope. He still does that match eating animation, right? I actually don't know if I've ever seen it in Warhammer 3, but nope, there's some animations. Let's just watch Skarsnik up close for now. Nope, doesn't look like he's actually going to eat any of the Swordmasters, which makes me a little bit sad. Maybe it's not programmed in properly for their skeletons, but whatever. It's fine. A little bit of Earthblood there, trying to hold the High Elves together, but Skarsnik, despite taking some damage against the Swordmasters, doing just fine. Swordmasters are going to get rear charged by the Orc Boar Boy Biggins and extra weapon strength from Spite of the Bad Moon. Extra anti-large. Again, it's not applicable here, but weapon strength helps against everything, obviously. And, yeah, just soaking up some beautiful cinematics of the Greenskins smashing High Elves into the sand here. Somewhere Ryder Rohan is just absolutely cringing at this High Elf play, and no doubt this replay will inspire him to send me some more positive High Elf games, so watch for that in the near future, probably. But great job by Slade here, just very patiently opening that box. He was not like a goblin at holidays, you know, voraciously ripping his presents apart. Instead, he was as patient as, I don't know. I don't know what Greenskin could ever be considered patient, but patient as Skarsnik, let's say. It's bringing his trap there, using the 8 Peaks loons to their best effect. 3592 on the final damage value total. Actual damage dealt, 26,057. So just fantastic. The Orc Air Boys also do a great job here, helping to kind of pick things apart, but really it's just mostly all about 8 Peak Loons. Ragnarok Queen also does manage to get some pretty good value in, helping to snipe Imric. But yeah, again, not trying to make this High Elf player feel bad or anything. It's just, yeah, you need to take a little bit more of an active role in, you know, playing. Even when you are boxing up like that, you need to have some kind of mobile component, like some horse archers or some kind of mass, something to give you some kind of flexibility and ability to stop enemy high mass units. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do differently there. So again, not the most high-level replay ever, but I figured I would show it to you guys because just a beautiful usage of Fanatics there, absolutely. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.